What's up guys, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Electro. Before this video starts, I want to remind you guys, join my Discord, link is at the top of the description, and also at the top of the description you can grab my new sample pack to go along with this video, best Electro kits ever. The link is right at the top of the description. Like I said, what it is, as you can see, I've got 5 of these kits, which I'll play you now really quick. You can hear all super solid stuff. You get all the individual layers of these, as you can see, as well as the full Ableton files. So you get the individual loops, the Ableton file, the samples, MIDI, presets, everything from these super solid kits that you just heard, plus bonus acid lines, bonus electro drum loop kits with individual layers as well, and some bonus effects. So again, everything in this pack is super solid. This is meant to just be one really high quality resource that you guys can rely on to make the best electro tracks you've ever made in your whole life. Link is at the top of the description. Again, it's really going to help support you guys. I put a lot of time into understanding how the style works, and now you get to benefit from that with these really high quality templates. In my opinion, some of the best and most authentic sounding on the market right now for this style. Plus, it really helps support me. If you guys enjoyed these videos, I really don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, especially for all the time I put in. But if you've enjoyed these videos, if I've shown you anything, definitely go grab this. It's really going to help support me. Plus, it helps support you guys taking your tracks to the next level. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Every little bit helps. And let's dive in. So, this is one of the kits from the pack. We're at 134 BPM. And the first thing that we have up here would be the drums. Now, when you hear the drums, you can tell it's mainly focused around the kick and the snare, right? So this is really the groove, is you need to have these hit equally hard. So you're going to have this kick and the snare, like it needs to be boom, boom, boom. It can't be like boom, boom, like a little tiny snare, but also it can't be a little tiny kick. You need both of these to hit equally as hard. So you can see for this one I have this fat 909 kick. I tuned it to the key of the track. And then for the snare, so it's this 808 snare layered with this kind of more cracky, like mid-rangey snare. Right, so you're just getting this super fat punchy snare, and then it's going through a little bit of echo. Like a tiny amount that doesn't get in the way of the punch, but just adds a little bit of texture. And then we have this drum bus, which is hitting pretty hard, but I've got it blended in there, so it's at 43% wet. From there, we have the hi-hats. So we got this 606 kit with a bunch of different hi-hats, just doing 16th notes. And that's going through a bit of chorus with a really high feedback, so that's how you're getting that metallic overtone. And then we have an EQ boosting the highs. We have this hi-hat. On the upbeats, you can hear that kind of makes you bob your head a little bit more as soon as that comes in. We have this little rim shot here as well with a little bit of reverb and drum bus on it. And then the last drums we have are going to be the synthesized percussions, which you can hear kind of grooving off of each other. So these are both made with operator, as you can see. So this first one is made with 4 sine waves here. You see we've got a really short envelope on the first one. So that's how you're getting that kind of like punchy, percussive sort of sound. We also have a bandpass filter on there. And then you can see there's a bit of an envelope on that, as well as the sine shaper, so that makes it a bit punchier and more percussive. And then we also have an LFO on the filter. And this is what allows you to really make this like a morphing sound, because you can kind of change the fabric of the sound over time. And that's what I like about this synthesized percussions. That allows you to create a percussion sound that's morphing and changing. And that's what this LFO does. And then we just have a little bit of drum bus, which also helps to make the sound more like percussion and less like a synth. And then the last percussion layer is this one. And this is also made with FM. So this is, you can see a saw wave with a square wave and then a little bit of noise. The square wave is super detuned, and it's got this really punchy like envelope on the first oscillator. So you're just getting this tight percussive sound, but that detune creates a lot of like interesting harmonics in there. Like if we just put that, see, that's with no detune, it's a lot more flat. And then if we detune it, so then we have a high pass filter on that as well. And then we have this LFO on the volume of oscillator B. So that's how you're getting some movement on that. And then this really, really fast echo. You can hear the Discord going. Definitely join that in the description now. But yeah, and then these two just play off each other. So that is it for the drums. And then the next thing I'll show you really quick here is we actually have this muted side layer. So all that is, it's the kick. It's literally the same thing, playing the same pattern, but I just shortened the kick a little bit, because I find if you sidechain everything to like a really short kick like this, you can kind of control it a bit more. So the next thing we have here is the bass, which is made with this 808 kick. So yeah, this is just like a simple, dry 808 straight out of the drum machine. And then the first thing we have here is the glue compressor, which kind of stretches it out. Really more so just like flattening the waveform, but it's going to sound better going into the distortion. So here's without it. And then with it. Again without it. And then with it. Because you can hear that distortion just really, or the compression like really just pulls out the 808. And then it gets distorted a lot better. So that's a good technique for this. Because those 808 kicks straight out of the drum machine, you can see it's got a lot going on right at the start. And then a lot going on at the end, but it gets really quiet really fast. So this compressor is a good way to fix that. Then we have this erosion, which is really just kind of shaping the distortion a little bit. Here's without it. And then with it. So you can see we have it on this noise setting. And this can be a really good way to bring a bit of high end back into this. Because if we turn this off, you can see it's really just like that like low mid-range. Like boom. Kind of like. And we want a little bit of like crunch and like crispiness to this. So that's where this can work really well with the noise. But see, it doesn't really do too much until you put it into the next distortion, right? It's like you hear it there. But then it's about how that next distortion is going to compress the 808 and this noise together. And you're going to get this really like just nice crunchy sound that you wouldn't get without this. And yeah, so then it has this rock amp. And the secret to this is it's only on 33% wet. It sounds like it's taking over the whole sound because it's so loud, like this distortion. But you only need a little bit. And then what's happening is actually secretly the bass without this is louder, right? Because that's more of what you're hearing. So you're still getting that low end, but it's got the nice mid-range distorted layer on top. Versus if you just distort it with no blend, so you lose all the low end. Or you still have a little bit, but it's just not the same. And then finally, we just have this side chained to that side layer. And yeah, that's it for the 808. Then we have this lead, and I'm going to play it with the wavetable as well. So you can hear these two layers play together. And this is like a big part of this too, is that it's not just how do we make this lead and this little like bass sound. It's how do you make two synths that are going to fit together to create this one little pattern. So I'll start with the first one. So here's the MIDI for this. Right, it's really simple. It's actually just, if you look at it, yeah, it's literally just two notes. It's just A and A sharp across two different octaves. And actually, this can create a really cohesive pattern. If you just pick two notes like that are right next to each other and just bounce back and forth between them, especially across different octaves. Because it's a really simple lead, but there's so much happening. It's like deceptively simple. And for the sound on this one, it's made with operator. It's a saw wave with a little bit of FM from 2 sine waves, you can see. The second one's detuned a little bit, and it's up a few octaves with the coarse pitch. Third one's up even higher. We have a low pass filter with a little envelope on it. Then we have this EQ to cut out some mud. Here's without it. And then with it. Subtle, but it just cuts out a little bit of that like boxiness. We have an echo, as well as a little bit of reverb. Some drum bus to make it a bit fatter, a high pass filter, and then it's being sidechained to the sidechain layer. And then this lead. So again, this little like bass sound plays off of the lead. And the key to that is 2 things. One, this doesn't play that many notes, right? Because it's about the contrast. Even though, yes, you could make this more complex and more impressive MIDI-wise, it's not about just this one. It's about how this one fits together with the other one. So you just want a few notes that are just going to add more groove to the other pattern. You start with the really busy pattern, and then you just add these extra few notes in there. And it's always matching up with what that's doing, too. Right? Like, it's only those same 2 notes that the lead is using, and it's always changing notes at the same time. Now, for the actual sound on this one, it's made with wavetable. It's a saw wave and another saw wave. You can see at the same octave with a low pass filter with a bit of an envelope on it. And then we just have this position sync unison, which gives it kind of a nice texture. We have a bit of echo, and then this amp, which is blended on there. But just like with that 808, a little bit goes a long way. Here's without it. And with it. For this type of electro too, this can really give it like a nice texture. We have some drum bus, a high pass filter, and then it's just being sidechained to the sidechain. Then the final thing we have here is the pad. So again, we're in the key of A minor here, and what's happening is we actually have this pad. So this is an A minor chord, right? We got A, so our root note, E, our 5th, and then C, our minor 3rd. Right, just a basic A minor chord. But then we actually have this 5th down an octave below the root note, so it kind of gives you a nice flavor. And then up top we're going, so we're doing this little melody where it's, while these are staying the same, right? So this is the minor 3rd, the 4th, and then the 9th, which as you can see is a fancy way of saying 1 note down from the minor 3rd. And yeah, so it just creates a nice like kind of background like melodic thing. It adds a lot to the mood of the track because all these other layers are so like dark and angry. But then when you add in this like almost emotional sounding pad, it's gonna fit really nicely. And that's the key, right? Because there's already a lot going on in this track, so if you're gonna add something, it needs to be something vastly different from those. And for the sound, it's made with wavetable. It's a saw wave and another saw wave with a bandpass filter that's got an LFO on that, just moving it a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with the bandpass. I have a bunch of unison on there with the noise setting, giving it some texture. Bit of reverb, some drum bus to make it more full. A high pass filter so it doesn't get in the way of anything else. And then it's just being sidechained to that side layer. And that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the best electro kits ever. The link is right at the top of the description on my website. Do not sleep. This is really the best electro kits ever. The best ones I've ever heard. Once again, you get all these individual project files as well as all the individual layers of each of these 5 construction kits. Once again, I'll play these for you. Super solid stuff, plus the bonus acid lines, bonus effects, and bonus electro drum loops. Literally every single thing you need to make this style and at a super high quality level so you can instantly take your tracks to the next level. If you've been struggling recently, go grab this. I promise you, by the moment you open this in Ableton, your tracks will already be sounding infinitely better and never go back. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Every sale really helps support me. I don't make a whole lot off of YouTube, so with these sample packs, I'm able to keep going and keep bringing you guys new videos like this every single day. Thank you so much for all the support, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.